Welcome to the 2021 edition of the Ake Arts and Book Festival. My name is Ade Bantu. Joining me on our virtual edition is this year's musical guest. She's Nigerian Canadian, a multi-instrumentalist, a producer, singer, songwriter, and much more. Falana, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
So congratulations on the EP Rising. The feedback has been amazing. Yes, so what's the overriding message of this short, long player?
Short, long, but EP, LP kind of thing. So I think for me that what came about organically was like women's empowerment. Like I can imagine in my mind, like a young girl sitting in uni in her room, listening to like Electric Lady and like feeling empowered, feeling beautiful, wanting to put it on replay and play it every morning, you know. And then also like Sweet Ade Tola was talking about, you know, a woman who you shouldn't judge, who she's hustling. Although I don't like tying that song specifically to a woman, but it does that naturally. It's a woman's perspective of a hustle, and really opening your mind. Like the lyrics say, throw a stone, show me your sin. Life is rough, some never win. So we shouldn't be judging. You know, we're so quick to judge women in this society for their actions. So I think there's that energy about feeling love and feeling free, like owning yourself and being confident in yourself. So that's why I think that happened really organically. The women's empowerment theme is also like self-love and striving. And I always write songs somehow about striving, start again and repeat. They're all songs that I'm, you know, trying to elevate or like lift my own spirits and to stay motivated. So that's kind of like the theme. And then obviously I was telling you, I was collaborating a lot on this project, which is very different from the last project, chapter 1 was like my last EP. I produced it, wrote the songs. It was very much me trying to, I don't know, birth something in myself. Maybe that was the purpose of it. This was very different because...
Only Nigerian producers?
No, well, there's producers from everywhere, which I think matches my own story. So we have producers from Jamaica, Dale Virgo, who worked with Drake and Rihanna. Teflon was on Coffee's album. They're wicked. Teflon actually is on my album, but I was working with them in Jamaica.
Wow.
Lord Quest, he actually knows me from small. He produced the first song, Paper Planes. He's from Toronto.
Okay.
Then AY, I call him AY, Davio. He is an amazing bass player and also producer now. And he did Sweet Ade Tola.
Brilliant.
Really good song. So it was just definitely collaboration. Like I knew that for this project, I wanted to tick certain boxes. You know, I wanted my music to be on radio. No one can tell me it can't, oh, your kind of music. I didn't want to hear that. So I knew that, okay, I need to...
You had to make it more electronic, in
like
inverted commas.
Less analog, but there's still like the bass is live, the guitar is live. So like it still feels raw. And that's the thing, I don't feel like I compromise my sound. So that's why I required searching to make sure it lands in the right way. And I think we've achieved it.
Most definitely.
So there's that. I was working with T-Boy, who also produced the record on African Giant with Burna Boy, the one with Sarani and Jeremiah. So that was, he did Wishing on a Star.
Which is a brilliant cover because I grew up with that song. I mean, when you were about to perform it live, I was like, okay. You said, oh, let's see if you know this lyrics or something like that. And I heard the first 2 lines. I'm like, okay, let's see where this is going to. And then by the halfway through the song, I was like, this is brilliant because you absolutely own the material. I know you're quite nostalgic about the past, right? I have that as well. Everyone's always like, oh, Ade, why are you living in the past? You know, come back. But, you know, it is.
I love it. Like even listening to like...
How difficult is it doing, sorry for interrupting you, doing cover songs, actually?
Well,
when do you know you own it? When is that moment where you're like, you know what, I own this song now?
Covers for me are always like, I've done like Send Down the Rain by Magic, which I've remixed my own way as well. I remember my first cover that people were like raving about was when I covered Lady by Fela, but did it my own way with the drum and I rearranged it and performed it at Celebration back in like, 2015, I think.
Somebody actually keeps playing it on radio.
On Smooth. They still play it on Smooth, which is crazy. That, so old, but you know, that was just me playing around, you know. So yeah, covers for me are really an opportunity for me to show myself as an artist because I can remix. I never sing covers straight. You will never get me to just sing someone's song. I can't do it. I have to like
karaoke.
remix it. Yeah. So that was just yeah, this album, this EP, I keep calling it an album. What am I saying? People keep calling it an album, but it's an EP.
For me, it feels like an album.
It feels like an album, yeah, but it's an EP, but that's good. So it was a beautiful collaboration process, and I just feel like, yeah, there was maybe like a spirit rising in me. It took time to get to like I was writing. I had like 15 songs before the song, like some of the songs I wrote later.
Okay, so the 15 were trashed?
Some of them I might sell. Let's say they were trash. Some of them are just like, definitely not. Like, nah. But I needed to go through that process. I needed to evolve. I needed to see what was possible as a songwriter. I needed to like break down certain barriers. Now I'm very open. And I feel like I needed to go through that process. So those songs gave birth to these songs. And you grow as a songwriter and you get better with your intention and even recording. I'm better at recording. Like I wasn't bad at recording records, but now there's a little more, there's something that's added that makes you feel something a little bit more, which I think is important as well.
We dream of summer rains and faded days, flying on paper planes to land estranged. We ain't going back. Old lives fade to black. We chasing passive highs, our reckless ways. Empty pockets held by broken seams, blinded by imperfect fantasy. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Don't care where we end up, as long as it's us two. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Don't care where we end up, as long as it's us two. Hey, 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 we dream of midnight blues and rising suns. And when the moon is out, we count the stars. Yeah, we ain't going back. Old lives fade to black. We chasing fantasies, this reckless love. Empty pockets held by broken seams, blinded by imperfect fantasy. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Hey, don't care where we end up, as long as it's us two. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Don't care where we end up, as long as it's us two. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Don't care where we end up, as long as it's us two. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Don't care where we end up, as long as it's us. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Don't care where we end up, as long as it's us two. Don't care where we're going, as long as I got you. Don't care where we end up, as long as it's us two. Yeah, paper plane.
You know, what I love about your album, or your EP rather, is the fact that it doesn't feel like a compilation, because most young artists, or most artists these days, you feel like they just releasing a compilation of their hit songs, you know. Whereas with yours, I listened to it from top to bottom, and it just felt like one seamless flow. And that is something that takes a lot of work and effort, you know. I know there's an intention behind that.
Yeah, can I be honest? We stumbled on the track listing. So they sent in, Sterling Sounds mastered it. We downloaded it and pressed play. And then the thing played. And I was just like, I like this order. Let's just...
Oh,
It was
so you didn't
everything
tell
was
the
organic.
mastering studio to
No,
actually follow a
they
particular
just
order?
ordered it. And when we listened to the order, and I was like, this makes sense. I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Shout out to the mastering
Yeah,
engineer.
Sterling Sounds. Yeah, they did
Wow.
a really good job. It just felt. I think the only thing we moved was Wishing on a Star to the end. It was like a bonus track because it's a cover, right? But otherwise, the flow, even just Paper Planes into Energy, into Sweet Aditola, into Electric Lady Casanova. Yeah. So a lot of things are organic. Like I said, it feels complete, like a whole complete body of work. But I wasn't sitting down trying to force the entirety of it, you know? So, yeah.
So let's time travel a bit here.
Yeah.
So how was it like growing up as a person of color in Canada, a child of Nigerian immigrants?
That's a big question. Well, I'll start off by saying that my parents moved to Canada. It was a sacrifice, obviously. All my dad's friends a lot of them are in Nigeria or even abroad, so he's there by himself. My parents had to deal with racism in their own workplaces that made the hustle very difficult for them, but they sheltered us from it. But, you know, my dad has this story that he tells me that one day I came home from school and I told him, Daddy, I don't want to be black again. Black is worthless.
Wow.
That I was maybe 4. Someone told me this, which is ironic because that's the complete opposite of who I am now. But I went home to my dad and I told my dad, and my dad's probably thinking that if my child was in Nigeria right now, she wouldn't even have this comprehension of herself relative to another race. She wouldn't have that type of, you know, thought. So obviously having to deal with that is very real. They say Canada, the true north, strong and free, you know, but racism is real. And it's for all people of color, you know, so, and not just blacks, aboriginals, and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'm grateful that it's a multicultural environment. So it exposed me to a lot of different things, Indian music, Jamaican music, you know, from any part of the world, you can find something in Canada. So yeah, my parents also were they're Nigerians. So you can't take the Naija out of the person. So I wasn't raised in a Canadian household. I was raised by Nigerian parents in a Canadian context. So the only thing that they didn't do when we were growing up is by the time my younger brothers were born, we were speaking mostly English in the house. When I was born, we were speaking only Yoruba. So that's why I understand Yoruba. People make fun of me and say my Yoruba accent sounds funny. I say, okay, remix it with all the other languages I speak and come talk to me. My experience is also very different because I've also lived in Nigeria. After I moved back from Cuba.
Okay, how long were you in Cuba for?
14 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you traveled around the island, or you were only in Havana?
I was living in Havana,
Okay.
and then I would travel, like I did a festival, Santiago de Cuba. I was just this random, like, girl in just following my piano teacher. And we're just, oh yeah, let's sing. She's actually the reason why I started playing cajon, because we're kind of digressing, but we went to a festival in, was it Holguin, which is in east of the island. And the drummer was supposed to come, he didn't show up. So she's like, you can play, just play the cajon for us.
For those who don't know, what's a cajon?
A cajon is a drum.
Oh,
like
you see, she's already giving you like an idea of what, we're going to show it to you guys later.
But the first time I played a cajon was on stage as the drummer for this Spanish lady who came to Holguin for this festival. So my piano teacher played keys, and we're doing bossa nova. That's a random story, but yeah.
So back to Canada now. So you have Nigerian parents. Obviously, as an immigrant family, they have high expectations academically. Most of them want their kids to become lawyers, doctors, whatever you not. The typical Nigerian middle class wing. After all, they've made the sacrifices, and then you decide to go into music. And what I found quite interesting was the fact that, from my observation, because as I said, my first encounter with your dad was him coming with you to a rehearsal in Ogba. So I was like, it was quite unusual because this is a young lady with her dad accompanying her.
In a room full of men.
In a room full of men, you know. Your dad had his machete ready for us, you know. Like, if any of you misbehave, don't try to toast my daughter and keep your alpha whatever at bay, you know. But it kind of struck me because I felt like your dad at least was supportive of your decision, you know?
Yeah.
Was he always like that?
Yes, I would say. My dad is very supportive. He's very untraditional Yoruba man. And I also think that he trusts me. Let me say, my dad trusts me because I was a nerd. So like one of the reasons why I love Ake Festival is I love to read. You know, I pushed myself in school and I was like valedictorian. He didn't have to push me to study. I did it myself. So with that kind of understanding, you know, he could see that I can trust her decision making. Also, when he came to that time, I had actually just come back from Cuba. So I came back from Cuba and I was speaking fluent Spanish. So my dad would have Spanish friends and they just switched. Wow. So my dad was like, this is my daughter.
But why would you even go to Cuba in the first place? Why? Why Cuba?
The real. I wanted to take music lessons.
Okay.
And we couldn't afford it. Like we couldn't do music lessons when I was in Canada. It was very expensive.
Okay, it's very expensive.
Yeah. Right? So I had been exposed to the possibility of studying music. I had read the real stories. I read Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and I realized that I was short on my 10,000 hours. So I now said, okay, I'm hustling. How can I get 10,000 hours with the minimal spend? Because I know I want to do this. Because the Beatles were performing, I need to have something. I want to produce my own music. So my mind is crazy. So I somehow connected that, if you move to Cuba, then it will be more affordable because the teachers there will, you know, my piano teacher was amazing. And she's still my friend. She's pregnant now. We're still very good friends.
Are you trying to tell me you started from scratch in Cuba?
On piano?
On piano.
Or
you had some musical knowledge prior?
Knowledge. Like I remember,
self-taught?
Yeah, like I took piano lessons when I was very, very young, but we couldn't continue. So that's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You know, twinkle, twinkle, little star. I learned that. And then that was basically so then I went to Cuba and was taking piano lessons 3 times a week with Vivian Perez Leon. And then she would call me to perform and I'd sing with them. So she taught me nomenclature. She taught me how to move changes. She taught me, and now I can at least pop.
Yeah, you are proficient. Yeah.
Very pop piano. Obviously, I'm not playing Beethoven or like Claude, you know, Debussy or something like that. But at least I can.
But you didn't have any formal training. So were you singing in a choir in Canada? How did you actually veer into music in Canada in the first place?
It was like a voice is something that you're born with. It's not like I always was singing. So in school, I was singing at home.
You had a choir in school or church choir, or because whenever people say I was always singing, I kind of look at them and be like, there's a bit of more of a story to that, right?
Fine. Let me think and answer the question. I remember when I was in elementary school, I was in the choir and they used to make fun of me because my voice is very deep and distinct. So the girls would be like, why do you sing like that? You're too loud or you're too... So I thought maybe I couldn't sing. And because I wasn't doing all the like falsetto trills, I thought I couldn't sing. But I enjoyed singing. So I sang in my house a lot. And then, but I was in the choir. I joined a bucket band. I used to play bucket drums. Like percussion is something that's always been very natural for me.
Which is quite exceptional, I mean, for a woman, because there are very few women that you see actually playing percussive instruments, you know.
It actually comes more natural to me than melodic instruments.
Let's continue here. So you're a band leader, right? How is it like as a band leader, a female band leader in Nigeria, and as a female artist as well, you know? Because I know there are a lot of difficulties you encounter. This industry is misogynistic. I mean, you cannot deny it, you know.
Yeah. And the gatekeepers are men. And some people feel like because they are gatekeepers, they can demand certain things or, you know, take advantage of you in certain ways. Even just like let's just even think about the logistics. A lot of music business happens at night. Oh, bros, how far now? Let's do this. Let's do the thing now. Let's do the whatever. Get the feature, put the song out, do the deal, take shots. But first of all, I'm not into alcohol. I just don't drink because my voice. But that kind of environment, as a woman being in that space, it's not the same as being a man in that kind of space. And that's where the deals are done. So you're already at a disadvantage. Sometimes she'll say, you're a small girl now. I remember I used to go to sound checks and I'm like, you sound man, listen to me. This is what I want. Just be looking at me like, I wouldn't be rude, actually. I'd be very nice. Hi, good afternoon. But they would still look at me somehow. I think people know me now enough to say, Falana has come. Okay. You know, we trust what she does. But it was difficult because in everybody's eyes, especially like Yoruba culture, we're very like, you're a small girl. So automatically, because I'm older than you, I know more than you, right? So there's all those things. And then as a band leader, I am very fortunate because I believe in loyalty. So the guys that have been playing with me are the same guys that have been playing with me since 2015,
Wow.
14.
Wow.
14, yeah.
Well, that says a lot about you, you know, because normally the Nigerian band leader is the person in front and then the band boys, you know, they're just anonymous. But I see that you give them their space to shine. I have a similar philosophy with Bantu as well, right? But and then people say, oh, it's because you guys are foreign or whatever. But I think we need to change the culture here.
Yeah, and even that whole, oh, because you're foreign, I'm like, oh, so you're telling me that empathy is a foreign, and that's scary. If you're telling me that empathy is or even just like humility is foreign, or me trying to, like, if I'm rising, hashtag rising, go check out the EP. If I'm rising, then why can't my team and the people around me also be rising, you know? They performed with me my first time at the Shrine celebration. They were there, you know. They've been there. So we build together. I think it's important.
How's it been like going back on stage after these forced haters due to COVID?
Oh, and give thanks to the Almighty. Because, you know, stage is like, I started, actually, in fact, I built my fan base performing. Most people release, and build a fan base. I was the opposite, where I was on stage, did the pop-up concerts in Lagos.
Which was very innovative because I actually looked up to that and I was like, okay, this can be replicated. And I tried it out as well because it was pure genius. You know, there are no venues. You create the venues, you know.
And that built audience for me before I even released music. A lot of the songs I sang at those pop-up concerts, they never got released, ironically. Because I evolved, you know. Yeah, none of them got released. Like all the woman like water, woman, you know, all those women empowerment songs I wrote, I didn't release them. But it was just like I was on stage. So people think, Falana's such a great performer. I'm like, yeah, but I put in the hours. Like I'm always on stage. And then it's like relearning recording. So that's why I think Rising is also very strong now, because I had to relearn how to record and capture what I do on stage on a recording, which is a different art entirely.
Exactly.
You have people who are excellent at recording, but you put them on stage,
forget it.
So it's being able to do both. You have to learn that. So, but I'm so happy to be back on stage and to be touring, have my 2 jobs, and be ready to.
So you have any tours coming up? Are you going to, I mean, obviously it's an international release, right? Mm-hmm. So that means you're going to be in Europe, probably the States, Canada with this new EP?
Definitely. We're trying to also get into to LA.
Okay.
I met Raphael.
Why
Sadiq.
LA?
I met Raphael Sadiq invited me to LA.
I'm hating you so much
now.
I am hating you. Tony.
Oh man.
Ay.
Good man, food on the table, working 2 jobs, ready, willing, and able. I met him at Global Citizen in December of 2019. Global Citizen Prize.
No, I'm hating you more.
No,
okay, go ahead.
You love me. It's okay. So I met I was performing and he was there.
You guys both shared a stage?
No. He was watching the show. And I performed Electric Lady. This is the story I told you where I met the Nicholas Coster-Waldau, Jamie Lannister from Game of Thrones. They were all in this same room.
Who you didn't recognize?
No, I didn't recognize because
I didn't watch
Game of Thrones.
Can you imagine?
But now I've watched Game of Thrones. Now
you binge watched it.
I will DM him with the new music. I binge watched and I caught up. So, you know, that kind of like
culture is
important. Yes, I've watched all these. What's the new one? Squid Games.
Oh, you're really playing catch up now.
No, catch up. I'm even ahead of everybody. What do you mean? I've read all the articles. I'm on point now. But I think at that time I was very much in my music brain, so I wasn't consuming as much media.
So you're going to go to LA?
Well, I want to go to LA, like connect with him and like maybe write with him. That would be amazing.
He's an amazing writer.
He also produced Solange's Seat at the Table. He's a producer. He's a bass player. He's everything. So that's cool. And then I'm obviously touring in Europe is a definite. France, hopefully in the UK. And obviously Canada as well.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think we'll see how things Guess
No, that
guess
they,
the word I'm going to use. We'll see how things rise.
no, they're gonna. It's rising already because it's a fantastic EP. I mean, I just can't wait to see you actually conquer Europe and Canada as well. Because I guess for you, it's also a reintroduction to your Canadian audience and to Canada at large.
And
you
I've
know?
been getting really good. So like CBC has been playing. They
Oh,
played
okay.
Joy, the first single, and Electric Lady was on their the Exclaim magazine playlist, song number 4. They're promoting it. So it's an interesting time. I think like because it's such a unique also body of work. I hope, like to say, I think people are gonna plug in and connect with it in different ways.
I woke up this morning, sunshine in my eyes. I know I'm not perfect, yeah, but thank God I'm alive. Oh, stumble, get up, I keep it moving. Trouble won't let up, I keep it moving. Diamonds or pleasure is joy that I'm choosing. I keep it moving. Look up, oh, I count my blessings. Yeah, no stress, I got pure intention. Hey, look up, oh, I count my blessings. One day at a time, live my life, yeah. Hey, live my life, yeah. Oh, live my life, oh. Sometimes I sit and wonder things that could have been, but it don't even matter, oh, 'cause every day's a win. Hey, stumble, get up, I keep it moving. Trouble won't let up, I keep it moving. Diamonds or pleasure, it's joy that I'm choosing. I keep it moving. Look up, oh, I count my blessings. No stress, I got pure intention. Look up, oh, I count my blessings. One day at a time, live my life, yeah. Live my life, yeah. Live my life. Baby, it's up to you what you want to do. 'Cause life from my point of view is all about gratitude. 1, 2, 3, hey. Stumble, get up, I keep it moving. Trouble won't let up, I keep it moving. No diamonds or pleasure, it's joy that I'm choosing. I keep it moving. Oh, look up, oh, I count my blessings. No stress, I got pure intention. Look up, oh, I count my blessings. One day at a time, live my life, yeah. Look up, oh, I count my blessings. No stress, I got pure intention. Look up, oh, I count my blessings. One day at a time, live my life, yeah.
So how would you describe Lagos to someone who's never been here before?
Lagos is colorful.
What color?
What color? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I was saying like when we were off camera, I was saying Lagos is like a yellow jungle, like a bright yellow jungle where you see all the yellow all the time of Lagos, like Ekemaroa.
Is it overwhelming?
I am not overwhelmed by Lagos.
Okay.
In fact, I'm more overwhelmed by New York than Lagos, but maybe
Oh.
that's because I'm a Nigerian and I'm used to, or like I'm never overwhelmed. Maybe a little bit, stressed by, Lagos Wahala or Nigerian Wahala sometimes. But yeah, what else? The color and just like obviously I'm in the art scene, I'm in the fashion scene and the music scene, like and the film scene. Like there's so much power in what's being created. I feel like there's an energy in Nigeria that just breeds because everybody's hungry and everybody's dreaming. So the quality of what we create is on another level. That's why people are always looking at Nigeria as like a leader in the creative arts.
People are very competitive here as well, right?
Yeah, I think competition is good. Not that I'm like, not in the context of economics, like we're not talking about that, but competition is good. Because it pushes people to do better, to perform better. In the music space, you see the level of live performance has just continued to rise because of competition. It's like, I can't be miming when my friend over here is using a live band and getting a full applause. So the level has just continued to rise. So competition is very good. Yeah.
But this brings me to another question. So you decide to come to Lagos on your own without that intimate support system that is so vital, especially as a creative. Your parents are not around, your siblings are not around, and you have to kind of like create your own space, find new friends, a new support system. Yeah. How has that been?
Very difficult. I have so many Lagos horror stories that people actually don't know. I think someone said, Falana, her parents are rich. That's why she likes to take Keke Marwa because she's looking for inspiration. I said, okay, if that's what you believe, it's fine.
Wow.
It's not. I don't have to shout or like my story is my story, and I don't have to use my story to make people, But it was very challenging, like even just being a single woman. I've talked about this in some of my older songs. Looking for a place to live on your own. I've had my car stolen from my house. I've had police officer, when I went to report the car, they now told me I should be praying and fasting. Asked me if I'm prayerful because my car was stolen. I've jumped out of a burning Danfo bus because it caught fire on my way to rehearsal. I've seen things from this Lagos.
Wow. But what still holds you here? What still holds you? What is it that still draws you to Lagos? I mean, come on. Most people would have given up by now.
Purpose. What still draws me to Nigeria is purpose, and to Lagos is purpose, because I know that there's an energy and there's a purpose that I have with my music and my life. And like, even some of the music, like Electric Lady, I think is one of those songs, Sweet Adetola. These songs can literally can penetrate in a way and change people in a way that I think is very important, that needs to be done. And that is greater than myself.
Talking about purpose, so do you feel like music with content, storytelling and music actually stands a chance in this pop world now where everyone is pretty much focused on the beat, fragmented lyrics where it's only about the melody, maybe the chorus, maybe the bridge, and that's about it. And here you are, because I know you pay a lot of attention to detail, especially as a songwriter. The words mean so much to you, and that's why they're so powerful. But I keep asking, is there really an audience for this here in Nigeria? I'm playing the devil's advocate here now.
So I think this is why Rising is also special, because Rising, all the melody you talk about where you focus on the beat, that's vibes. And we need vibes for good music. So I say, at least Rising, or what I'm trying to do is take vibes and take message and put them together.
Okay.
So I believe in the power and the importance of melody, but I also believe in the power of storytelling. Like some of the artists that I love their songwriting. Like Sia does this also kind of well, message and vibes or whatever. I love the way Tracy Chapman writes, the way Lauren used to, and it's all storytelling, and I think that's very powerful. But if you put vibes or storytelling inside vibes, you get something very powerful as well. So that's kind of what I guess one of the things I was trying to do with Rising. Because melody is important.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The question is the audience, or rather the gatekeepers, it's not about the audience, are the gatekeepers giving artists like you a fair chance to actually present new, innovative ideas within the context of pop music? Because you're stretching it, right?
Do you know why I think it's a yes? I think it's a yes because at least Nigerian music now is going global. And the global mindset, the majority of the West is educated. So there's certain things that you can say and certain things you cannot say, certain things that will work, certain things that will not work. If you look at the artists that are on the top of the charts in the West, they usually are saying something, even if it's simple. Like Ed Sheeran, we found love right where we are. That's beautiful songwriting, even though he later got sued because of the whole drama. But anyway, that's beautiful songwriting. There's, even Lizzo's like, I just took a D. Like there's craft to the songwriting. It's not just like random words or, So if the rest of the Nigerian industry wants to continue to penetrate and hold audience, it's one thing to have a big song, it's another thing to retain an audience. With people now, it's like, okay, I did the TikTok song, I move on. But it's like, no, I love this artist. I love what she says. I love how she says it. They'll come back. So you have to elevate yourself. That will have to happen, I think. I don't know. That's just me.
How do you start? Do you start with a melody, a word? Is it a collage in you that you're trying to express? Walk me through the process.
Every song is different. So let's talk about Songs on Rising, for example, since it's most recent. Sweet Adetola, literally what happened was I went to AY Davio, his house, and we were vibing, listening to like Monster by Justin Bieber and Shawn Mendes. And I think like maybe 2 months before I had seen this film called Joy, which is on Netflix about the human trafficking, sex trafficking in Nigeria, but it was done by an Iranian-Austrian director, which I always find fascinating when you have external people kind of critiquing or like speaking about Nigerian stories. But it was a brilliant film. So there was that story. So he started making from scratch. I see myself as a vessel, so I think the melody just kind of came, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm like, okay, I could now piece together the story, and it just kind of happened organically. But I guess those ideas were already in me. So that was that song, Sweet Adetola.
What's Sweet Adetola about? For those who don't know, just in a nutshell. Brilliant. One of my favorites actually on the EP.
Sweet Adetola is about, I don't like tying it to a specific thing. I think it's about anybody who is striving to chase their dreams or has visions. Like I said, people dream in Lagos, but life has like maybe knocked them down and they compromise certain things. Or maybe they're not compromising. Maybe that's what they want to do, They're confident and they're bold, but they're hustling. But, life is not easy. And it just tells that story, And then the hook is, she falling, she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing, sweet Adetola. So it's like that, all the things, she's balling, she's falling down, she's begging, she's buzzing, she could be high on life, she could be, it's very open because I wanted, to invite people in.
Sweet Adetola. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. She won't get help from anyone. She feels the hunger, it's burning. She counts her naira one by one. Ole, ole, she on the road, it never pay. But baby, she can't run away. And she dreaming of the USA. She born again. But she fucking for her rent, to pay her rent. Throw a stone, show me your sin. Life is rough, some never win. She ballin', she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing, sweet Adetola. She ballin', she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing. She loves attention, she's chosen. She self is a shooting star. Hey. She walks to her feet is swollen, but somehow she don't get too far. Ole, ole, she on the road, it never pay, but baby she can't run away. But she dreaming of the USA. She born again, but she fucking for her rent, to pay her rent. Throw a stone, show me your sin. Life is rough, some never win. She falling, she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing, sweet Ade Tola. She falling, she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing. She don't know where she's headed, but she pretends she's not afraid. And she daydream on the regular, cause she need a sweet escape. Mini skirt, so you know what she working with. In her heart, she's a fighter, she's a champion. Some days she feeling really lonely, cause she's thinking of what could be. Yeah, ole, ole, she on the road and never pay, it never pay. But baby, she can run away, run away. But she dreaming of the USA, a big madam in the hotel now. It's not a paradise, but she coping and she don't know how. Sometimes some Henny or a line or two. Either way, she on her own and she do what big girls do. She falling, she begging, she roaming, she falling down, thugging, she buzzing, sweet Ade Tola. She begging, she roaming, she falling down, she thugging, she buzzing, sweet Ade Tola. Sweet, sweet Ade Tola. She falling, she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing, sweet Ade Tola. She falling, she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing, sweet Ade Tola. She falling, she begging, she roaming, she falling down, she rolling, she thugging, she buzzing.
But that was that. There's other songs I started on guitar. Some song that they might send me the production, and I wrote like Energy with Sir Dauda, with a production that was sent to me from a kid. This is his first ever record in his life. Like he took a screenshot of Spotify and was like showing, like he's so proud, and I'm happy to like be a part of that. But that song was written. Dauda and I, I organized like a writing camp, really informal, and we wrote that song. So like it just depends on the. And originally we wrote it, we weren't writing it we were just writing the song. So that's why the song is so good, because we were thinking about this song and the feeling. I feel love, yeah. I feel free.
Whenever I hear that song, I just get up and I'm just like
and
in the groove, you know. I'm
that you cannot take away from me. Yeah.
Yeah, I any song inspired by a book, a poem, a line that you read?
I have a song that's not on this album that was inspired by a book.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true. Let me think. I have to think about lyrics now.
Okay.
Because lyrics, there's maybe books that inspire that I don't even realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a song specifically, Swing Time by Zadie Smith. I have a song called Swing Time because I had just finished reading Swing Time.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
so you have to play to Sadie then.
Yeah, I have to.
You have to.
It's a little bit crazy song, but yeah, I have to.
Why not? I mean, just...
Do you know her?
No, but I know someone who knows her.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure Lola knows her. Lola,
oh my gosh.
Over to you.
Yeah, so I called it Swing Time. So I was inspired by Zadie Smith. And also, like,
What have you been reading lately? I mean, it's the Ake Arts and Book Festival,
I'm reading
right?
White Teeth. Because I read Swing Time. I haven't read White Teeth.
Okay. A must read.
I'm reading On Writing by Stephen King, which is interesting because it was recommended people who are trying to be writers, but I'm reading it from the perspective of being a songwriter.
Which is still the same kind of, you're a storyteller, right? Who's your favorite writer at the moment?
I don't have a favorite. There's too many.
There are too many?
There's too many. Because I don't even think about who's my favorite writer. I think about my favorite literary experiences.
Okay.
Like the first time I read Baba Sheki's The Secret Life of Baba Sheki's Wives,
What did that do to you?
Oh my God. You know what? For me, it was like, it gave me, I love novels or literature that gives me, like I felt like I was in the story. So it gave me a different perspective on even my own culture. So I felt like it was teaching me about myself in a very indirect way. So I can read that novel over and over and over again.
It's brilliant. I mean, I was actually opportune to have read the manuscript. So
Before-
Lola sent it to me. I was on a train ride. I was in Cologne heading for North Germany, and I finished it in one sitting. I literally was reading in the taxi when I got off the train. When I got into the hotel, I was still reading. By the time I finished it, I called her and I was screaming. I was like, this is incredible. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I keep telling Lola she needs to write more. Like, we need more
But you know
books,
what's funny?
you know?
You can read that book a million times. And that's why, like, it might seem cliche that I'm bringing it up in this Aki Festival, but that book was, like, really amazing. There's also...
What books introduced you to Nigeria when you were in Canada?
Things Fall Apart. You
Oh,
know?
okay.
Yeah.
Your dad
Americana.
passed on books to you, or,
The
or your
books my
mom?
dad was passing to me were very different kinds of books.
What kind of books?
How to Win Friends and Influence People. My dad was trying to get me like... my Dale Carnegie, trying to get me like...
Is my geeky daughter
she
needs to
know how to penetrate. Yeah, okay.
some social skills,
Yeah,
please. Boy,
which
it
is
kind
great.
of rubbed off you because I mean, you're somebody that loves multitasking, right? I overheard you saying that you're working on film music now. So not only are you writing for other artists as a singer, songwriter, or producer, you're also talking about film music.
Yeah.
I'm sure you own a record label, a music publisher.
Technically, we're working on it.
Okay,
But Baloji, do you know Baloji? He's French. He reached out to me to write a song for his film.
Okay,
So
wow.
I've submitted that, and it's really beautiful. The emotion that he was asking me to come up with. So it was a different...
So he guided you. He was like, okay.
He gave me the idea for the scene. He gave me the production that he wanted to put there. So I had to just write the melody and the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
So that was a very different experience. I loved it.
No visual references. You didn't actually have moving images in front of you.
No. I
Wow,
had
that's
like
difficult.
the what do you call them? Like the sketches of the
Yeah,
scene.
Okay.
There's a word for it, but it's escaping me. And yeah, so I wrote to that, and I want to do more of that.
Okay,
I also
you've
want to
caught
get
the
into
bug.
acting. I want to start acting.
And you've directed now, huh?
Yeah, so we'll see how it comes out. I directed it was going to be the music video, but we think about just making a visualizer with lyrics, like for Sweet Adetola. Just kind of like the image I had, the visual I had for that song. But I think that song is we'll see what happens. I think
You wrote the script. You not only directed, you also wrote the script? Or?
Well, it was the concept.
Okay.
So I was directing Nengi as she was...
Shout out to Nengi.
Nengi. I was directing her as she was acting. She's brilliant, and she was in your music.
Yeah, hey, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, she's a great actress. So so that was just like the concept, the different pieces I wanted to what I wanted to feel, and I tried my best to direct it. But I wouldn't call myself.
How was it?
I can't call myself a director because I have friends who are directors.
But that's a short, right?
It's like
that's a short
it's
film.
like a short
right?
film.
Yeah.
Technically, it's a short.
So you have direct. I mean, once it's out there, that's your
You'll say
directorial
direct. Yeah.
debut. So no need to
But
be
it's
modest.
a humble direction.
Any new languages that you're learning? Because I know
you
you're
know what I
talking
want
into
to learn?
language, yeah.
I want to learn sign language. Really badly.
I am totally fascinated by it. You know, I actually did a
Oh,
hip hop
thank you.
musical
Oh,
with
man.
people rapping in sign
And
language.
signing. I want to learn sign language really bad. So that's really the next thing I need to like focus on.
You can learn it here in Lagos. And you
I
know,
want to
the,
start signing. Oh, it's like you're speaking with your body, which I naturally do.
True.
See, I've been doing. Oh, you know.
True.
So now if I can, oh man, I need my hand. I need to start signing.
Wow, so that's your new assignment.
That's what I need to do. That's the next language I want to learn.
So sign languages.
And Hausa actually.
You want to learn, which is the lingua franca of West Africa.
Yeah, and Hausa is different from Yoruba and Igbo because it's not tonal. So that's actually what messes me up all the time. Hausa, you can just you can say any tone you want, and it's the same word. In Yoruba,
Yoruba is way too complex.
Just land on a me. It should have been a do. That's the end.
And everybody starts laughing. But you know, I just don't care anymore.
No,
I think they just have to respect the fact that you're putting in the work and you're making an effort.
But I think also too, I am the problem. I think because, you know, when I was in Cuba, I had no shame. So my Spanish, I'll just be speaking to you. Eventually, I'm now fluent. And people think I'm Dominican when I speak, which is crazy. But it's because I didn't have any shame. And because I have no reason to speak Spanish. So there was a different way I was moving through Cuba. Or even when I now go to Spain, I don't feel unconfident. I'm very confident. But with Yoruba, I feel almost like I shouldn't feel shame, but I feel shame that I don't speak it as well as I speak Spanish. Although I speak it, like I only speak Yoruba with my parents, but they don't laugh at my accent. I get when something sounds funny. Okay, we get it. It's funny, but you know, I say I speak Yoruba because I actually speak and understand Yoruba. It sounds funny, but I can communicate. People will understand me. That's where I even started with Cuba before I came super fluent.
You sing in Yoruba? Have you tried it?
Yeah. Tele. Remember that song? Tele.
You released it as a single, right? Yeah.
I released it after the NSARS. That's how it inspired it. I wrote that song in like 10 minutes because I was on Instagram and then I started crying and I felt overwhelmed and I felt unsafe and I felt scared and I felt angry and I felt disappointed. So then I wrote, my heart is bleeding, what's the remedy? Literally, I wrote that song in like 10 minutes. And then I had these Yoruba poetry books. So the hook was actually in the poetry. So I was reading and I'm like, this actually makes sense. Like,
so music helps you to make sense of the madness around you.
Yeah, I write to heal myself first as an artist. But then also in that process, I realized that I have to open myself up for other people to be able to tap in. So that song, I think I even posted, I was wearing my PJs. I played it on piano and posted it on social media. It got shared like almost 300 times. I feel like it was a very raw emotion that people were experiencing at the time. And I was so shy, like I was even hiding. I put the lights really dark. I was so shy of the song. But yeah, so I tried to like, I'll maybe sing more songs a year about my next. Like Tele is out, but it's just there. And I wanted to, we're still trying to generate streams so that we can donate the proceeds to Amnesty International Nigeria. That was the intention, but the streams have to, with the way the industry is.
Well, at least you put in the work.
1, 2, 3. That you's a soldier, carrying the weight of secrets I have told you. Trying to keep some secrets of your own, come share the load, love. I'm trying to tell the truth that no one else will show you. Is it cocoa? Is it cocoa? Well, baby, I have told you, let's keep each other warm, love. Is it cocoa? Is it cocoa? But baby, I have told you, let's keep each other warm, love. I'm by your side, ride or die. You ain't alone, ride or die. One of a kind, ride or die. Come on, yeah, come on, yeah. I dare your side, ride or die. You ain't alone, ride or die. One of a kind, ride or die. Come on, yeah, come on, yeah, come on, yeah, come on, yeah. Hurting undercover, yeah. Together and alone, don't it make you wonder? Don't it make you wonder? Let's paint another story for ourselves and live in color. Oh, and never let it fade. There's so much to discover. Is it cocoa? Is it cocoa? Well, baby, I have told you, let's keep each other warm, love. Is it cocoa? Is it cocoa? But baby, I have told you, let's keep each other warm, love. Hey, I'm by your side, ride or die. You ain't alone, ride or die. One of a kind, ride or die. Come on, yeah, come on, yeah. I'm by your side, ride or die. You ain't alone, ride or die. One of a kind, ride or die. Come on, yeah, come on, yeah, come on, yeah, come on, yeah. Always here for the long run. Few of this persuasion, right to the end. No matter the
incredible. You know, what I loved about the performance and the whole setting was it felt so intimate and you were so loose, you know, and it was conversational. And you actually made a point to let everyone understand that, hey, you know what, I want you all to be laid back and let's just kick it, you know.
Because, you know, sometimes before I used to like, this is a concert, so I have to put on a concert. So I'm now trying to like perform, but I think that's actually my new style now, which I'm just generally very relaxed. And I wanted people to feel like they were coming to my house for me to play them the songs. I didn't want it to feel like I was putting on a concert. So that's why I made sure it was very conversational.
For me, I mean, somebody that has known you and has seen your trajectory, you know, it was so beautiful because you have come a long way, you know, as a performer, because you're completely comfortable with yourself, with your material, with the band and everything, and you don't have anything to prove to anyone anymore. You know, and that is the beauty. That's when you're absolutely you, like this, take it or leave it, you know. And I think you're at that point now with this EP, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and I think that's important because it makes me a better human being also. Because I think before I was always trying to maybe prove something. And not even just in my music, even just in myself, where you feel like you have to prove something to people. But when you get to a point where you're just like, I'm fine, I'm cool, I don't need to prove anything. I'm relaxed. So even the way we're engaging or the way I'm on stage or the way I speak about my music, I feel more confident. You know, not that I'm not always confident because sometimes it's hard. Life is, in the world that we're in, sometimes if you don't feel like you're getting the attention that you deserve, it's hard to have confidence in yourself. That's natural. But I definitely feel more confident now. And it's not necessarily, it was before Rising came out, like I just feel more relaxed. Because, yeah, life is short. Can't come on, kill myself.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Falana.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to the album.
Yes.
Hopefully, is it going to be dropping this year or when?
No. It's October now.
I know you are restless. So maybe the album, then the follow-up album, more follow-ups.
We'll see. We might just sing the out like some
No,
of the songs.
I'm not trying to put you on the
We have a couple songs
spot.
on the album that are already done, but I like to leave room. So something might enter last minute. We'll see what happens.
Make sure you check out the EP,
Rising.
man. Rising, #Rising.
Rising.
Thanid you.
Thank you. Should I say my social media too?
Hey, hell yeah.
Oh,
Please
yeah.
promote yourself all the way.
Big smile for you guys. I want to say a big thank you to Ake Festival and also to you, Ade, for having me. And if you want to say hi, you like what you hear, what you see, make sure you hit me up on social media. I'm friendly, or I try to be, when my phone is not in a corner somewhere. At Falana Music on all platforms. And also there's links to my music and the Rising EP, which I know you're going to check out and enjoy. So yeah.
Okay, this was the musical edition of the festival. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Make sure you check out Falana's Rising. Brilliant LP, EP, whatever you think it is. It's just pure magic. I'm a big fan. And I want you all to just go out there and go on Spotify, iTunes, wherever. It's actually going to be on vinyl as well, right?
Yeah,
at some point. I want a
I think
copy.
it's going to sound
Promise me a
amazing,
copy.
I promise you.
Oh, you heard that. So
I promise.
Oh.
Everyone will know.
So any which ways, thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
Ake, we're big fans. We hope to have you back on the
I'm a big
Ake
fan
stage.
of Ake Festival.
We need to get you back on the stage
can't wait
with
till
the
it's
band. Yeah, once we're allowed to get an audience together. And stay safe and make sure you get vaccinated. And not just one shot. We need you to get 2 shots. And if you need the booster, go for it. Because, I mean, we don't want anybody risking their lives. Shout out to Lola, the great team, the guys behind the camera, our director, everyone. We love you. See you soon.
That 5 minutes madness only you can understand. Visit myspectre.com to get your Spectre experience. Spectre, loans in 5 minutes.